Hello Internet, what's going on? I'm Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. Boy, today's October 24th and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's not really all that an important day tomorrow, you know, it's just, my birthday.
Glad to know that you're older and all the closer to death.
And I'm gonna enjoy myself and have a jolly old time. But you don't want to hear me being happy about that. Nah, you're just here for the third rich review of RWBY. But after today, you bet your booty I'm going to party!
Oh yeah, it's going to be a fiesta!
Anywho, let's get back to the video and the review.
In my previous review, I explained that while episode 1 was a single episode, episode 2 and 3 and several other pairs were cut into two-parters to pad out the release schedule.
Like that girl in your math class who padded herself until her release time.
And just like last time, this review is going to be on two episodes, episodes 4 and 5. But first, let's get you up to date with the story so far.
Previously, we got to see our main protagonist, Ruby Rose, first day at school, which goes as well as you would expect a first day cliche. She meets the other girls from the trailers, including some lonesome loser played by the Moon, and each one is presented in a stereotypical way. Ruby is innocent and naive as a puppy. Weiss is your wealthy heiress with all the warm friendliness as the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. Blake is a reclusive bookworm who's about as social as Grumpy Cat, and Yang is your typical party girl who seems to be trying to ditch her sister so she can go rave it up, which is pretty standard for older siblings.
Yeah, I remember when my brother pawned me off for a donkey. At least she had a great ass.
However, it's just the beginning of the show right now, and even with these cliches, the girls show a hint of depth that, if developed right, may lead to some endearing characters.
And there's still plenty of time for these characters to grow and develop, but it will be up to Rooster Teeth to work their butts off to achieve that.
And have they? Well, let's keep watching the show and find out. So without further ado, let's get this started. Lakana, roll the clip.
I'm gonna have to sit through this every time, aren't I? Skip!
Wake up, lazy bud!
Ah! Yandere! Kill it!
Oh no, it's just a ginger. Kill it!
No, it's just a quirky introduction for two more characters. The scary hyperactive girl is Nora Valkyrie, and her apathetic friend is Lai Ren. Or is it Ren Lai? Lai Ren... Damn it, why do the Japanese names have to be written in reverse order? It's confusing. Anyway, some of you might recognize Mr. Ninja's voice here.
Yes, Ren?
I don't think sloths make a lot of noise.
That's right, it's Manion, creator of RWBY and DDR champion, who's possibly acting in the same manner he does when dealing with overexcited fans.
I don't think sloths make a lot of noise.
Perfect! No one will suspect we're working together. But not together.
Ha! Knew she was a yandere.
Keep your distance, men. This one looks like she can break bone.
Well, she's a yandere, or one really thirsty fangirl.
We then cut to Ruby and Yang, who are preparing for the initiation test. While Ruby is optimistic about her outcome, so long as she ends up on the same team as her sister, Yang continues to express her desire to ditch Ruby, thinly disguised as a wish for her to open up and make some friends.
Well, remember, Ruby, if you want to grow up, you're going to have to meet new people and learn to work together.
You sound like Dad.
Okay, in my defense of calling her a possible orphan Annie, we don't know if he's still alive.
And if he is, why wasn't he at the station when Ruby was being interrogated by Ozpin and assaulted by Senorita Dominatrix?
I'm gonna get about like 50 replies from you guys explaining why, despite the fact that this is not a react video. It's a review, and thus I do some research. Not a lot, but some.
I think you might be stretching that number. There aren't that many people who actually watch your videos.
What about when we form teams? I don't know, I'll just be on your team. Maybe you should try being on someone else's team.
Wait a minute. Did her hair just phase through her arm?
Yeah, her hair just phased through her arm. It's garbage! It's all garbage! The show sucks! It's ruined!
Well, okay, I guess I shouldn't judge too much. I mean, a few glitches here and there and a bit of clipping is to be expected from a show that had like the budget of 2 bologna sandwiches and a bottle of Coke. Back in the weird co-ed dorm, we find Weiss trying to chat up the waifu gladiator in an attempt to ally herself with one of the strongest fighters of the new student. Her reasons are purely selfish, of course, as if we weren't already aware of that.
Together we will be unstoppable. Nothing could come between us now.
No one except by the power of the scriptwriter, of course. So yeah, Bloody McLoser here still thinks he's got a shot, and tries to thaw the Ice Queen's heart, all the while ignoring the Spartan warrior who seemingly has eyes for his thighs. This may be because he doesn't recognize her as the famous fighter, Pyrrha. That is, not until Weiss explains that she's also the mascot for a cereal brand.
They only do that for star athletes and cartoon characters.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Sadly, the cereal isn't very good for you.
But the commercial told me it was part of a complete breakfast. I mean, just look at the back of the box and you'll see, oh my god, this thing's like 90% sugar, 15% preservatives.
Everything a growing boy needs. Order yours today. When do I get paid for this?
Good job wasting your money, Ryan.
Anyways, despite her express utter disinterest, Jean continues his attempts until Weiss gets fed up and asks Pyrrha to kindly send him away.
A little help, please? I'm sorry.
I don't think you are. I have a sneaky suspicion that you actually enjoyed that.
Well, she's not a tsundere, but I do get the feeling that she'd be a bit more controlling in bed than most girls. She must be a daughter of Texas.
Next, we find our new students on a cliff, and I swear there was more of them last episode, but I guess we haven't unlocked them yet. In any case, we find out that they're here because today they're going to be assigned to teams of 4. And the rules for pairing the first half of those teams is similar to love at first sight. That is to say, the first person they meet eyes with will become their teammate for the next 4 years.
I agree with Ruby.
That is one of the stupidest methods of sorting, since the sorting hat got drunk on butterbeer and decided to make the house of Slytherin where all the bad kids go. I mean, what happens when you get paired with someone you're just not going to get along with, like a pompous vegan or a RWBY fanfiction writer? What then? You just have to wait until one of them drops out or is killed by the other over a character shipping difference?
Well, that's not the only stupid thing they came up with. The method of dropping the students in the forest is also retarded.
After establishing their teammate, their goal then is to find a relic in the middle of a forest and then make their way to the extraction point with it. All the while defending themselves against any Grimm that cross their path, the giant monsters whose sole goal in life is to kill humans. They then explain that they will literally be dropping the students into the forest, as in they will be launched from springboards hundreds of feet in the air before plummeting into the forest at terminal velocity.
Where did they come up with that idea? The Hogwarts handbook of handling your students?
Not surprisingly, one of the students is a bit unsure of this and asks them how they expect them to land safely.
Sir, so this landing strategy, did you hand out parachutes for us?
No, you will be using your own landing strategy.
Well, he's a goner.
I wouldn't be so sure of that. Losers like Johnny Boy here always find a way to survive in anime, as well as get the girls. Lucky bastard.
That there is the face of a man who's currently wondering how he's going to swing this one for the lawyers.
And that's the end of episode 4, but for reasons that still confound me, Rooster Teeth decided to split this episode into 2 parts as well. So let's get started with episode 5 to finish the review. Lakanan, roll the clip.
Skip. Behold the peaceful Nevermore, floating on the warm breeze of the midday. These delicate creatures are nearly extinct, but thanks to this lone male, their species may thrive again. Oh my god, she killed it! So yeah, back to our still airborne characters. We see that as each is hurtling towards the ground, they all find their own ways of breaking the fall. From grabbing trees to using magic, or in Yang's case, using her goddamn shotguns as mother frickin' jetpacks. However, not all are as graceful as Barbara. Thank you for destroying the trees, I'm sure Smokey is pleased with that. Nor will they seemingly be alive in the next 10 seconds. But luckily for Jean, Agent Carolina manages to save him by pinning him to a tree.
I'm sorry.
Again, I'm not sure you are. I think I already stated that I feel that you actually get off on this.
Told ya she was kinky.
Anyways, back to RWBY. By the way, I heard landing like that is bad for your knees. We find her setting off to find her sister Yang. Good luck with that. Judging by how fast she was going, she's probably in a totally different continent by now. In order to be on her team. However, as she's running, she figures out that that might not happen and begins to think who else she might like being on a team with. She figures Blake would be nice, if a little hard to talk to, and John would probably not survive any more than a few minutes in a fight, but will be happy so long as it isn't the Snow Prince. Oh, the irony!
Looks like our Lord has struck again. All hail the irony god.
Well, Weiss isn't pleased either, but begrudgingly goes along with it, especially considering the alternative.
John? Do you have any spots left on your team?
Very funny.
Yeah, judging by what I can see, I would choose her too.
Back with Strawberries and Cream, Weiss expresses her displeasure in the teammates she's stuck with, but Ruby tries to reassure the Ice baby that she's up to the task.
I swear if I get a bad grade because you're... What the...
I'm not slow, see? You don't have to worry about me. When did... Wait,
I don't know why you're surprised, Weiss. This is an anime where every character is able to do weird things like that.
Maybe she's one of those assholes who continue to say that RWBY isn't an anime.
Ruby?
Hey, I'm looking for Little Red Riding Hood. Have you seen her?
What? I thought you were the one who was capable. Well, since this is the end of the episode, I'm gonna assume that the usual cliche happened and she was torn limb from limb.
That's not the cliche I thought of.
I don't want to know what you thought happened.
Well, it involved the wolves and Weiss getting gay.
And there you have it, Internet. The third episode of RWBY. Well, technically it was the fourth or fifth, but either way, the show's still pretty good.
It's very common for the first episode just to get things started, like how your keys are either used to start your Prius or to write swear words on your ex-boyfriend's Ferrari. And while the second episode's duty is to get its booty in gear and get the plot going and the characters established, from then onward the episode's job is to simply expound on that. And despite what some of my viewers may think, so far RWBY has been failing to establish that whole conflict on the horizon that was mentioned in the first episode.
However, the thing that is established and quite nicely is the characters.
Rooster Teeth has done a great job with their characters in Red vs. Blue by making them less like the cliche dudes fulfilling a role and more like individuals interacting with each other.
And like I said, while some of them are a bit cliche in certain ways, the way Rooster Teeth has them interact with each other makes them feel like they're just normal people talking to each other.
So far as I can tell, while the main story isn't really in the foreground, hell, I wouldn't even say it's in the back seat. It's more like it's been stuffed in the trunk and told to keep quiet whenever hot mamas are nearby.
Well, most girls are interested in the action-riddled man than the story-driven nerd.
From what I've seen, it seems like they're going to be focusing on the character building side of the story, which should be interesting.
Nerd.
However, this will only work if they focus on the characters and let their actions drive the plot.
And considering what they've done with Red vs. Blue, I think it's safe to say that while we really won't get that deep of a plot, we will become emotionally invested in these kids. Again, if Rooster Teeth forgoes the anime norm of action and style focus over character development and story.
Now that's really all I can say about it, both because these two episodes were kind of short, and because tomorrow's my birthday and I don't want to waste my time here. However, I will say that my interest for the show and trust in the writers is growing.
But trust is a fickle thing, and it can break at any moment, like you're trusting your friend when you discover that he actually believes in building a wall.
Ejo.
That's all for now, guys. I'm off to check my stomach's capacity for cake and my ability to think after 16 to 17 shots of tequila.
Lightweight.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. With me, no movie sacred, no video safe, but all deserve a chance. Catch you guys next time. Let's party! Woo!
And it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see. The devil tips his hat to me. I do